base desires against them. Justice withers under the glare of vengeance. Friendship shatters under the smallest pressure. As the tiniest seed writhes and wriggles to escape my grasp, so will the seeds of havoc grow in their minds. There was a time when I was the only thing that mattered. I held the sun itself in my paws before the upstart life stole it from me, and I will hold it again at the end of this world. Bravelands will be remade as it should be, a place of true balance, of life that is born only to die. When the time comes, this place will be a kingdom of death. 1. The sunset blazed on the horizon, and Stride watched it sink into the earth with an irrational shudder, despite the dry heat that made his tongue sticky in his jaws. The sun could not set the plains ablaze, no matter how furiously hot the day had been. He stretched out along the branch of the tree at the edge of the forest, spread his forelegs, and extended his claws, trying to let some air flow around his paw pads. The rains were long past due, and still the long, hot season wore on. Creatures flocked to the shade of the trees, but the leaves of the canopy were withering on their branches, turning brown and crisp. There was so little water that a single flash of lightning could burn half the Great Parent's forest. The only comfort Stride could find in the unforgiving blue sky was that it meant there would be no storms any time soon. It would be cold later, and the creatures of Bravelands would be shivering under the pale stars. His old friend Pace had told him a story once about a cheetah who stole the sun from the underworld and outran death to bring it back to Bravelands. He had been sure it wasn't true, at least not exactly the way Pace had told it. And yet everything he'd seen, everything that had led him here to the outskirts of Great Mother Starlight's forest, it had all chipped away at his understanding of the world. He had seen the strange colors and shadowy shapes that followed any cheetah who ran too fast, but he never thought he was truly being chased by death. Then Flicker had been taken. She'd had no injury, no sickness. One moment she was alive and running, and the next, the darkness washed over her and she was dead. They had had so little time. So am I supposed to believe that death took Flicker because it was jealous? Because a cheetah stole the sun? Could death truly be so petty? It didn't make sense. And yet if it wasn't true, where was Flicker now? Where was her spirit? She should have gone to the stars, as all spirits did. But the strangeness hadn't ended with her death. He had seen her form dragged into some sort of terrible fissure in the ground, and he knew, in his bones, that it hadn't been a dream. The great devourer can't be cheated. Death can't be outrun. Those are stories for cubs. The real world was no less strange than the old stories, only less fair. He licked at the scratches on his leg, trying to clean them without worrying at them too much. They itched, and the sensation nagged at Stride, a constant reminder that alongside his mate's death, the rains that hadn't come, and the dark spirit that maybe meant Braveland's harm, he had one more problem. Jinx. The other cheetah had thought Flicker was his, and when he found out she died while she was with Stride, his reaction hadn't been driven by any kind of love. Stride was sure of that. It was as if Stride had stolen his territory or destroyed his coalition. Which we did, Stride thought, with a pang of bitter satisfaction. Now Jinx had offered a reward to any cheetah willing to catch and cripple Stride, not to break the code, not directly anyhow, but any cheetah who carried out the brutal task would surely know a lame cheetah was a dead cheetah in time. Stride narrowed his eyes as he peered out over the plain. He could just make out the muddy channel that had once